Squiz Kids podcast has released a new episode which features kids asking tough questions of the Prime Minister.
Hello, Prime Minister. My name is Claudia and I'm 8 years old. How long until I can hug my granny? I don't want her to get sick.
Oh, Claudia, I really feel for you. That must be really hard. I really had a wonderful relationship with my grandmother when I was a kid, and I know how hard that must feel for you, and you're not living in the same place and you can't see her. I hope for you getting to talk to her, and you can do that on Skype or something like that, or FaceTime if you can. I know she'd be loving to hear from you, and she'll want to know how your day's going every day. But I hope it won't be too long. But for now and for the months ahead, your grandmother is going to be safer by being in isolation on her own for a while.
Oh,
isn't that lovely?
That question melted my heart.
I know, and and it melted Scott Morrison's heart too. He got very emotional about it. And joining us now is Squiz Kids host Bryce Corbett, and none other than Claudia herself. Hey guys, nice to talk to you.
Hello, how are you?
Hey Claudia, I have to start with you because what was it like, Claudia, talking to the Prime Minister and asking him questions?
Amazing, since he's so busy.
Hey, you know that it's not easy when you've got the opportunity to ask the Prime Minister something, and Lord knows I stuff it up all the time. But how did you arrive at that one question? Why did you decide to ask that above everything else?
Because I love my granny so much.
Oh, how's she doing?
She's good.
Where does she live?
She lives in Canberra.
Does she? And what does she say? Do you talk to her a lot?
Yes, we do.
And what sort of stuff does she say to you?
She says, "How are you going?" and "Are you okay?"
Oh.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I bet you can't wait till you can give her a big hug again. But Bryce, I mean, lots of kids are really feeling confused about everything that's going on right now, including why they need to stay home. Do you have any tips as to how parents can best explain to them what's going on?
Yeah, when we were putting together Squiz Kids, the podcast, we spoke to lots of child educators and lots of children's broadcasters, and the advice is very much that you speak to them openly and frankly about what's going on in the world. You can't pretend that it's not happening. They're acutely aware of the fact that their entire life is being turned upside down, and so it's really important that we speak to them openly and we speak to them frankly. But what's really important, and what's been a really overriding theme, I guess, for the podcast that we've put together, is that you'd speak to them about the facts without inducing fear or anxiety, because there's enough of that around as it is. So it's very easy for us as parents, and you guys know what it's like. It's not like kids live in a vacuum. They're acutely aware of what's going on in the world, and they're taking their cues from their parents. So I think it's really important that, and certainly that's been what's driven the Squiz Kids podcast, has been this idea that let's talk to kids about what's happening in the world, but let's not make them any more scared about it.
This is a great idea. Were you surprised the PM got involved?
We were. I mean, it took a couple of weeks of negotiation with his office, and he was always very keen, but obviously he's got a few things on, so we didn't take it that it was definitely going to happen. But we were obviously really gratified that he took the time to speak to us. I think he probably felt it was important to answer kids' questions for exactly the reasons I've just been talking about. Kids, as we say at Squiz Kids, it's a kid's world too, and this is the world that young Australians are going to grow up to inherit.
Beautifully said. Hey, Claudia, just before we go, what do you want to be when you grow up?
A scientist.
Oh, that's a good result.
What a great idea.
I thought you were, for one moment there, I thought you were going to say Alison Langdon. I would have been most aggrieved. Hey, thank you too. Thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. Stay safe.